Today we're taking a look at these NHL matches, which are happening on Saturday, April 8, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money, and if you are interested in props and parlay picks, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link to our Patreon and to our new channel in the description and comments section below. Florida Panthers vs Washington Capitals. This is simply a case of two teams heading in different directions as the season winds down. Washington has completely fallen apart with 5 straight losses and 8 defeats in 9 games. They won't be in the postseason field, leaving Alex Ovechkin a long offseason to contemplate what's next for the Great 8. Meanwhile, Florida has reeled off 5 straight wins, and they are still battling to secure a playoff spot with less than a week to go in the regular season. Lyon has seemingly stabilized the net for the Panthers, as he has turned in at least 38 saves in 3 of his last 5 starts. If he stays hot and gets the Panthers to the postseason, he may supplant Sergei Bobrovsky as the #1 netminder, at least to start. Florida makes it 6 straight wins as Washington has mailed it in at this point. Our team pick is Florida Panthers. Washington dropped their 5th straight and their 8th in the last 9 games, as they were drubbed on the road by Montreal Thursday night. The Capitals went into Friday's action 34-35-9 and stood 6th in the Metropolitan Division, 32 points behind the Hurricanes for the top spot. They have been eliminated from playoff contention. Washington is 20th in the league in goals per game, with 3.08 goals per contest on the year. The Capitals are 17th in the league in goals against, as they allow an average of 3.14 goals per contest. Washington is 16th in the league in power play success, as they have converted 21.3% of their chances with a man advantage this season. The Capitals are 5th in penalty killing, as they successfully navigate through 82.8% of their shorthanded situations this season. In their game against Montreal, Washington's late-season freefall continued as they were flattened by Montreal on the road Thursday. The Capitals were outshot 13-6 in the opening period of play, but took a 1-0 lead to the dressing room at the first intermission. Dylan Strome opened the scoring with his 20th goal of the season at 5:30 off assists from Nick Jensen and Alex Ovechkin. The second period saw Washington come apart as they were outshot by a 12-8 margin and outscored by a 4-0 count to trail 4-1 after 2 periods of play. In the third period, the Capitals held a 12-7 advantage in shots on goal, but they were outscored 2-1 to turn the game into a romp. Nicklas Backstrom got Washington within 4-2 with his 7th goal of the season on the power play at 14:27 off assists from Strome and John Carlson. That was as close as the Capitals would get as they gave up the final 2 goals of the game to put things away. Darcy Kuemper made 26 saves for Washington, who was outshot 32-26 in the loss. He is likely to be between the pipes again for this contest. Our pick is over the total. Tampa Bay Lightning vs Ottawa Senators. The Tampa Bay Lightning are headed to the postseason, while the Ottawa Senators will go home at the end of next week as they have been eliminated from playoff contention. Tampa Bay has the 8th best scoring team in the NHL and will push forward against a below-average Ottawa blue line and goalie that are just 20th in goals against. Tampa Bay has won 20 of its last 27 played on a Saturday and 37 of the last 52 on one day's rest. Head-to-head against Ottawa, Tampa Bay has won 6 of the last 8. Ottawa has lost each of its last 4, and the Senators struggle against above-average opponents, losing 37 of the last 52 against a team that has an overall winning record. Our team pick is Tampa Bay Lightning. The offense has been very good for the Lightning this season. Tampa Bay ranks 8th in goals per game and 14th in shots per game. They scored 3 or more goals in 5 of their last 10 games. Nikita Kucherov leads the Lightning with 108 points. Kucherov ranks 3rd in points and 2nd in assists among all players in the league. Brayden Point leads the Lightning with 48 goals, and he is 5th in the league in goals. In the last 10 meetings, Tampa Bay averages 3.40 goals per game, and Ottawa averages 3.20 goals per game. The over is 7-3 in the last 10 meetings between these two teams. This will be a higher scoring game and the over will hit. Take the over, 6 goals. Philadelphia Flyers vs Islanders. This is a prime spot for the Islanders to prove that they belong in the postseason. After dropping the Lightning, the Islanders' last 3 games to close the regular season are all against non-playoff teams. It's simple. Win those games, and you're guaranteed a spot to at least try and pursue Lord Stanley's chalice. They should have little problem taking care of business in the first game here. The Flyers are anemic offensively, struggle to keep the puck out of their own net, and are dismal when it comes to special teams. Throw in the fact that Philadelphia is 12-19-8 on the road this season with nothing to play for, and it's hard to see them competing here. Take the Islanders as Sorokin slams the door on an inferior opponent to give the hosts an important 2 points. Our team pick is New York Islanders minus 1.5 goals. Neither offense has been doing well as of late, as the Flyers are scoring just 1.67 goals in their last 3 games, while the Islanders are averaging 2.3 goals in their previous 4 games. A big reason is that throughout the entire season, both teams have been terrible on the power play, as Philadelphia is last in the sport with a 15.4 power play percentage, while New York is 30th with a 15.9 power play percentage. The under has hit in 8 of the last 10 games against one another, so go with the under here. St. Louis Blues vs Minnesota Wild. The Nashville Predators have been brutal offensively as they are 25th in the sport, as they are scoring 2.90 goals per game. They are coming off a 4-1 road loss against the Pittsburgh Penguins to extend their losing streak to 3 games. Goalie Marc-Andre Fleury spoke after the game and discussed his displeasure with his play. It's always a special place to come and play. I wish I would have done better, put on a better show, kept it closer, and given a chance to our team to stay in a bit more. As a team, maybe it wasn't our best, but it is what it is. The team has been dominant on the defensive side of the ice, as they are 3rd in the league, allowing 2.65 goals per game so far. Philip Gustafsson will be getting the start in the net, and he is 29-6 with 2.03 goals allowed per game, with a .932 save percentage. Looking at the offensive output in the last few games entering this matchup shows a large difference, as St. Louis is averaging 3.2 goals in their last 5 games, while Minnesota is scoring 1.7 goals in their previous 3 games. There also is not a big difference on the power play, as the Blues are 22nd with a 19.4 power play percentage, while the Wild are 15th with a 21.7 power play percentage. The Blues are a dominant 17-6 in their previous 23 games, so go with the St. Louis Blues to cover the puck line. Our team pick is St. Louis Blues plus 1.5 goals. In their last game against one another, they combined for 13 total goals, and this should be an interesting game, as neither team is known as a defensive team. These teams have been struggling on the defensive side of things, as St. Louis is allowing 3.5 goals in their previous 4 games, while Minnesota is giving up 4 goals in their last 3 games. The over has hit in 12 of the last 17 games against one another, so go with the over here. New Jersey Devils vs Boston Bruins. The Bruins will be hampered without number 1 defenseman McAvoy available, but the Bruins have tons of depth. They are in hot pursuit of the league wins record and come in with just 4 losses at home all season. The Bruins are 2-0-0 against the Devils this season and have outscored them 7-4 in the 2 wins. While both teams are humming along right now, the Bruins have carried this play all season and have a fresh All-Marquee net for this matchup. Take the Bruins with the money line. These offenses have been dominating throughout the last few games entering this matchup, as the Devils are scoring 5 goals in their previous 4 games, while the Bruins are averaging 3.33 goals in their last 3 games. Throughout the year, these teams have been doing well on the power play. Boston is 13th in hockey with a 21.9 power play percentage, while New Jersey is 12th with a 22.1 power play percentage thus far. The over has hit in 4 of the previous 5 games against one another, so take over 6 goals in this game. Calgary Flames vs Vancouver Canucks. Make a play with the puck line in this matchup with the desperate Flames matching up against a Vancouver team that, prior to the shutout, was allowing 5 goals per game. The Flames dropped the first game of the season series with Vancouver, but have won each of the last 2 games. Calgary's offense is playing better than it has all season and should be able to exploit the depleted Vancouver blue line and put up 4 or more goals in this game. Look for a one-sided win for the Flames here as they try and keep their playoff hopes alive. Take the Flames with the puck line. The Flames are averaging 3.16 goals per game and 3.28 goals per game on the road. They averaged 3.67 goals per game in their last 3 games against the Canucks. With Vancouver giving up 3.53 goals per game at home, the Flames will hit their average in this game. The Canucks are averaging 3.33 goals per game and 3.25 goals per game at home. They averaged 3.33 goals per game in their last 3 games against the Flames. With Calgary giving up 3.08 goals per game on the road, the Canucks will score enough goals to push the score over the total. The Canucks and Flames played over the total in 7 of their last 9 meetings. Take the over 6 goals. Chicago Blackhawks vs Seattle Kraken. Chicago has nothing to play for. On the other side, Seattle has clinched a playoff berth and will almost certainly earn the top wild card in the West. The Kraken are 7 points ahead of the Winnipeg Jets and Calgary Flames with just 4 games remaining. Hereof, I would take Seattle to beat the puck line, although the odds are not attractive. The Kraken would secure the top wild card with a win here, and it's tough to back one of the worst teams in the league, which the Chicago Blackhawks certainly are. Seattle and Chicago split their first 2 meetings of the season. The Blackhawks won 5-4 as +120 home dogs in October, and the Kraken responded with an 8-5 victory in January, playing as -240 road favorites. Our team pick is Seattle Kraken -1.5 goals. Both of the games between these teams this season went well over, and that is the pick I am leaning toward in this game. In the 2 games this season, the teams combined for 22 goals, with 13 being scored in the last game. The Kraken have a solid attack, and they will show that off in this game, lighting the lamp several times. While the Blackhawks are the lowest scoring team in the league, they have totaled 10 goals in the 2 games facing Seattle this season. They will get some goals, but, like the last meeting, the Kraken will have a few more, which is why the over is the pick for this game. Colorado Avalanche vs Los Angeles Kings. The Kings have lost their last 4 games to the Avs prior to this season. LA has beaten Colorado in both meetings this season, scoring 5 goals in each game. They did that facing Gavrikov, who only has a GAA of 2.53. I look for Copley to get the start in this game, and he has played well for the Kings, which is why they traded away team legend Jonathan Quick. He has only given up 3 goals in his last 2 starts, and even playing a more than solid Avs attack, he will play well. The Kings' attack will be decent in this game, but with Copley having a solid game in between the pipes, LA is the pick in this game. Take the Kings with the money line. While both of the games this season between these 2 teams went over, I am leaning towards the under in this game. LA has struggled on the attack in losing their last 2 games, only totaling 3 goals. They will not kill it on the attack in this game, but will be okay. Still, okay will be good enough with Copley likely getting the start. He has only given up 3 goals in his last 2 starts, and I look for him to thwart a solid Colorado offense. The Kings will get back to playing good D behind a strong start from Copley, and that is why the under is the pick for this Western Conference affair. Our total pick is under 6 goals.